It was a long time ago now.
Well, James follows you in a way.
Yeah, well, he did. I mean, you
Yes.
went to university doing the same stuff, didn't you?
And realised it wasn't for me. No,
Yes.
But you got your degree, and that was the important thing. Yeah.
definitely.
And of course, Yvonne is very artistic, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Yes, she is. She's
Yeah.
very
There
artistic.
is Yvonne.
I saw some,
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah.
saw some lovely cushion covers that she's finished embroidering.
Really?
They're beautiful, so colourful, and you'd think there was no hand done. You'd think it was all done by machine because it's so tiny. It's I
Wonderful.
don't know how you could do it really. It's so minute, the stitches.
I hope you'll use them.
I haven't got them. They're Yvonne's. What she's going to put in an exhibition.
Oh, I see. I thought she'd done it for you.
No.
So make sure you use them.
No.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
no, she's making them and then she puts them in an
they're
exhibition.
I see.
Yes.
Mm. Oh, well
No, it
No.
went just like that.
done. Yeah.
How'd it
Just
go?
like that. Went
It didn't last.
Did it now?
Just like that. Yeah.
No, like I say, I'm half asleep half the time. I don't know what goes on. Bothered really now.
I've got something to tell you.
Oh yes, is it nice?
Yes.
Oh good.
Oh yes, ever so thrilling.
Oh, come on then, don't spill.
Do you ever remember a place over my way, London Coney Way, called Salisbury Hall, where they had an aeroplane and a museum? Do you
Well, if
remember it?
No.
No, perhaps you don't remember it. Well,
Why?
well,
Have they got you in a picture with the in the plane?
they had a mosquito over there
Yeah.
years ago. It was a
Yeah.
well-known place over there. And the other day, a gentleman came to the club I go to at church
Yeah.
on a Monday afternoon, once a month, for elderly ladies, men, gentlemen as well, if they like to come. Small ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, this gentleman came to talk about this plane that I used to do war work on. I used to work for the Havilands.
Weren't you on the wiring?
Yes, I used to.
Conduits.
Yes, and conduits. Yes, that was a word I used to
Yeah.
use to know, and I used to have to test all these wires in these boxes, big boxes.
Very responsible job, wasn't it?
Well, this chap came and to speak to all of us ladies and gentlemen, and he was talking really about the mosquito plane that I did a little bit of work on during the war, and in the end, it was very interesting. He got pictures, showing us pictures, you know, of this Salisbury Hall now, and they've made it a much bigger place now, and got quite a nice museum, I presume, a bigger museum and all that. And anyway, after he'd finished talking, he came up to me and he said, asked me, he said, was I Alice? And he knew it was because Yvonne from church, I saw her talk to him before he come up to me, and I thought, yes, you know my name all right, because she hasn't told him. So anyway, he got talking to me and asking me, you know, about what I did at the Havilands during the war. And I told him about these boxes and the wires and all that, what I had to do with that. And he said to me, he said, he said, we'd be delighted, he said, for you to come. He said, sometime soon. He said, Sunday is the best day, really, or Sunday afternoon. And he said, but I would like to know, he said, nearer the time, so that he can get in touch with, I think he said, one or two special. I
Wait,
think
wanted you
that's
to give a talk?
to give me
Yeah.
to speak to me about what I did during the war.
Oh, I thought you meant to give
No, not the other way
I
around.
thought it's the other way
No,
round. So
No,
what a
he-
boxer
he,
stand up.
he wants to get in touch with somebody to speak to me about the mosquito
I
and
see.
what I did.
Oh,
So, anyway, I said, he said, but I have to know, he said, because I got to arrange
Yeah.
for them to come, he said.
mm.
So I said, well, I would love to go. I said, love to. And I said to Stephen James, I bet it'll be one of these very old age pilots that flew in the plane, and I should be shaking hands with him.
Oh,
Perhaps he'll take you up in the plane. Give
No,
you.
no, shouldn't think he flies. No, the plane wouldn't stand it, I shouldn't think. But this man, he said, he said, you may be able to see inside it. He said, he
mm.
might show you inside. So I think it'll be quite interesting,
Interesting.
when I go.
Oh, yeah.
But I bet that's who is getting somebody. Because he said to me, he said, somebody, he said, I know, he said, I'm sure, he said, we'll be able to tell you where that goes, or did go, in the plains, what I did.
Mm.
That
Well,
particular
that would be
thing.
interesting to know where
Yes.
your work landed up, wouldn't it?
Yes,
So is it still working?
yes.
Oh, but it does. I
Yeah,
mean,
of course
those
it does.
planes have been
Oh, they've got to be.
very good, haven't they?
Oh,
They've lasted.
yeah.
I know
Yes.
some of the
that's
Spitfires
interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
still
Yeah.
So
you can
sometimes,
go up in those.
Mm.
see who this is that
Well,
I've
it's
got to meet.
nice of them to keep in touch, really.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah.
I bet he'll be in his old Air Force uniform, don't you?
Yeah.
Where's moustache?
That's what I can imagine. Shaking hands with a very old gentleman,
yeah,
you know,
with
that's
his feet
flown-
tap on
flown
them.
yeah, just plain.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Oh,
if and when
well.
it happens,
We
I
shall
hope you get on all
see,
right.
yes. But,
Mm.
yeah. But it was Yvonne, Fred and
Yeah.
Yvonne at church. It was
Yeah.
Yvonne that had spoken to him and told him about
Put him on to you.
me working during the war, and she more or less told him sort of what I did, sort of thing, as I've told them,
Yeah.
And she thought she'd tell him, you see.
Mm.
And, oh yes, he was a very nice gentleman. He came up and he shook hands twice with me. Once when he come up to me, and once when he said cheerio. Yeah, he's a very nice man. Yes.
So
Oh,
was
yes.
it? So de Havillands made the planes, but they were
Yes.
called mosquitoes,
Yes,
weren't
over Hatfield.
they? Yeah. So they,
Yes.
where you were working,
They might have done work in another
lots of places, I
towns
suppose.
and that. Oh
yeah.
yes.
And then they brought all the bits together at de
yes, I
Havillands.
should think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But you were on the conduits, weren't you? On the wiring, all right?
I was on wires.
Wiring, yeah.
Yes. And it was they were like, I should say the boxes were as big as your tray.
Really?
Oh yes, as big as your tray, but they weren't terribly deep, really. Yes, they were quite as big as your tray.
Well, I mean, how did you, daft question, how did you know where this went, that went?
Oh.
Had you got somebody,
All
an overseer, I suppose?
I had Anne to teach
Oh,
me
did you? Yeah.
that lived at Hatfield.
Yeah.
Anne.
Mm.
Oh yes, we all had somebody to teach us. Well, we'd done needlework
Mhm.
when we went there. We didn't know what to do, so we had to be taught
yeah.
what to do. And Anne had worked for de Havillands for many, many years, so she was always at de Havillands. And her husband worked at de Havillands as well. But yes, she... and I wrote to her until she was well over 90, Anne. She did move down to Portsmouth. And Dad and I went down to see her and her husband once. She was lovely, Anne. You met Anne, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember Anne.
And we, you know, and funny enough, most of those girls that were with me on that bench came from Peaks and did needlework.
Wow.
Yes. And do you know what? You wouldn't believe it. But James's grandma, Lewis's
Yeah.
grandma,
Mrs. King.
Mrs.
Mrs.
King, worked with me on the bench.
Really?
Yes, she was on our bench.
Yeah.
She was the eldest, mind you, on the bench. But she, I mean, I don't know how old she would be. But of course, it was years and years ago. She was much younger then. But she was the eldest on the bench. But you see, now your grandma was very good at needlework, wasn't she, Grandma King? You see, it was, I think, all to do with being very careful with your needle or anything, that you've got to be
Yeah.
take very great care. And we had on our job, when we finished it, we all had a little stamp, all had a different number, and when we finished our job we had to stamp it to know that who's passed that job. So you just had to be very careful.
Yeah, so if anything went wrong, they knew who to come back to
Yes, so
and
they
blame.
would get it,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And also, something else we never knew anything about really, and that was soldering. Now, we used to get things, bits of wire bring into us. I don't think it was anything to do, though, with the boxes. It was just another little job as well as the boxes on our table. And we had to look at this soldering to pass it, whether it was good or not. And if it was too dry and all that, we had to send it back to the girls. Oh yes, we wouldn't pass it. We had to send it back, and you know, get to the job done properly, because that was another important thing, soldering in those days. To go on a plane,
Yeah. Oh, well, all
soldering
these little
joints.
bits all joined up,
Joints
didn't
you've got
they? And
to-
Very
Yes.
important.
if it didn't,
Oh yes.
wasn't done properly, it just wouldn't work.
That's
Yeah.
right. So, you know, it was.
You did your bit, didn't you, for
Yes.
the victory?
And I told them about you. You had to go down to Sphereworks, didn't you, to work, to do your war work. You didn't get to do Avalons, did you?
So-
What did you do
On
there,
the
Aunt?
common side.
You
were
did,
on
you
the
did
posh
war
side.
work. Yes, you did.
What did you do? What was it you did?
Do you know, I can't remember.
But was it? It was military.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yes, war work.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'll get all past and it's all right, wherever it's gone.
So did you choose where you wanted to go, or were
No.
you told?
No, we
Did-
were directed where we got to
So you got a
go.
letter through saying, "Come on."
I wanted to go on the land. I wanted to be a land
Yeah.
land girl, but it didn't come off. Whether I'd be any good, I don't know. Well, I thought I'd be out in the fresh air. No,
Didn't
I didn't.
like it.
I didn't get on the land.
No.
No, that's what I would have liked to have done, though.
On the land, wasn't she?
Yeah, she. In the end, when the war came, she was put on the land as a land army girl, and she wasn't much bigger than me. She was a little bit bigger, but not much. Was
Was
she?
it? Yeah. Well, she was tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
So where was the Sphere Works, Aunt? I can't remember where it.
Down the camp, down
Camp.
the camp.
Campfield Road, where the camp press was.
Oh right, so down Camp Road
Yeah,
and
along
carry on
there,
up.
there's
Yeah,
That's right.
Factories on the
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. What did they do then, Sphere
Spit
Works?
that, well, that was on radio boxes.
Ah,
Was it?
Yeah.
right.
Is that what you were on then?
I was on the plugs to go in the box.
Ah,
Oh,
right. Yeah.
plugs.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that was an important
Well,
job.
it was.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know whether it was during the war or after, because at St Albans there was Marconi's, wasn't
That's
there?
right.
Marconi's.
Which was a big,
Network flows.
yeah, Big.
Just
That was
tailoring.
big business. That was.
Yeah.
Radars, I think. wasn't it?
Yeah,
Marconi's.
Marconi's. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
We were quite an important city, really,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
in the war, with
Mm.
different places we were, weren't we?
Yes, well, we did our bit, didn't we?
Well, we
Us
tried,
Us girls.
hoping now everything's all safe and sound wherever they are.
And do you
Everybody.
remember, Breen, when we were at Peaks, if the siren went, we were allowed to run home from Peaks, and we did run home a
Yeah.
couple of times, and we all got under the stairs,
That's
under the
right.
in the cupboard.
Yeah, Mum shoot us under the stairs.
And dog as well.
Yeah, under the stairs.
So,
Yeah.
so how old would you have been? How
Uh,
old would you have been around?
me?
Yeah, about that period.
How old would I have been now? Oh, I should think I was about 17. I would have
No
been
good asking me right now.
about
Call
17.
yourself Reed.
Yeah, I think I must have been, what you think. I was trying to think the other day how old I was. Yeah, when I went down to do my job, war job, I was trying to think then.
What year were you born?
Hmm?
What year were you born?
22.
22. 32, 42.
So I think about
Just
17.
paper.
Yeah, yeah, you'd have been about 17, wouldn't you?
17.
Mm.
Well, and I can't remember quite how long I was there during the war, but I do know when I was 21, I wanted to celebrate, and there was about 4 of us, and the girls who I was really friendly with. They said, "Oh, that'd be nice, Alice. Yeah, let's celebrate." And I never used to like going into pubs, because our mum and dad didn't go in pubs, so we weren't brought up to go in pubs. But anyway, when I was 21, I said, "Well," and the girls said, "Where should we go then?" So I said, I can't remember whether you were there, Reen, or where you were. Perhaps you might have been married then and down in Chettle for all I know.
I can't go that far back.
Well, anyway, the girls said, "Yeah, where should we go?" So I said, "Let's go in the Crown Hotel." No, it's only 2 doors from our cottage where Mum and Dad were. Anyway, they said, "Yeah, all right, let's go then. We'll go in the Crown Hotel." And do you know what? We went in there, and the lady who was the head one in there, she saw us going, and she come up to us and she said, "Oh," she said, "we can't have little girls in here," she said. And she meant me. Yeah, she said. So I said, "Excuse me." I said, "I'm celebrating my 21st birthday." So she said, "Oh," well, she said, "I am sorry." She said, "Oh, well, that's all right," she said. Yes, I remember that quite well. Yes, oh, yes, oh, we can't have little girls in here like that.
During the
21.
during the war, did Peaks close down, or did
No.
they make military?
Yes,
They
they were
closed.
uniforms, weren't they?
Yes.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Yeah, military uniforms.
Yeah.
Mm. So why?
Oh.
I don't know why they sent us to do
No.
other work, really, but
Yeah,
I suppose
yeah.
they needed them in the
Yeah,
factories, you
yeah.
see.
So I suppose it was a case of, right, we want so many people, and
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah, sharing them
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Oh dear, they were the days, they were, weren't they?
Yeah. I didn't mind working at Pete's though.
Oh
Did
no, I quite enjoyed it, but I wasn't very keen on when Miss
Oh, you
Washington came round and
I bet the holidays.
was near you and looking to
Oh,
see what you
yeah.
was doing,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
she was a mistress, wasn't she? My goodness me.
Yeah.
You had to behave yourself with Miss Washington around.
She was a bit on the strict side, you
Was
know.
she the
Yeah.
manageress sort of thing?
Yes. Oh yes, very. She wasn't very tall, was she?
No.
Very smart.
Oh, yeah.
Very smart
Dead
person.
scared of him, weren't we? We're absolutely petrified of her.
Yes.
When the world got round and Washy's coming downstairs. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And when it was time for me to start work at 14, Reem was already at Peaks, and Les was still at school, but I was 14, ready to go to work, and there was nothing much to do, only really to go to Peaks, and which was close at home. So Mum thought that was a good idea, me going to
Yeah,
Peaks, because Reem was there as well.
Yeah.
So she took me over there to see Miss Washington.
You asked to go in the
I
office.
said, she said, what would you? She said to me, what are you thinking of doing? What would you like to do? So I said, I would like to go into the dispatch room, really. So she said, you couldn't go in there already. She said, it's all office
Got
work.
to do your training.
You need years of training in there. So anyway, I think we all had to start from the bottom, really, didn't we?
Yeah, I was on cleaning, pulling
Yes, so was I.
tacks out
Yes.
of clothing.
Yes, I did the same
Mm.
when we started. Yeah, you go right through the business, you know.
And end up on buttonholes.
I ended up on. Yes, I was on buttoning. I was working with your auntie on buttoning. We called it buttoning, and that was sewing buttons on posh coats.
Mm.
And I remember your auntie quite clearly. And but that wasn't my last job. My last job was I had to put coats on a dummy stand, you know.
Mannequin, they call them, don't
Yes, and put these coats on, and then I had to
they?
mark
Back up.
mark where the buttons have got to go with white chalk, you know, the tailor's chalk. I had to mark where the buttons have got to go, and also I had to go and get the belts for the coats, and I used to have to go up some iron stairs to an office place, up the stairs, and I didn't like that really, because down below were all the machinists,
Oh, watch you going up the
And
stairs,
how-
is little embarrassing.
people on hand sewing, and they could see they could see you going up all these stairs, and I didn't like that. But anyway, that was my last job before I went on to war work.
Mm.
Yeah, but I was on. I used to like the person I was working with too, actually. But Olive,
Yeah,
Who
little
I-
Olive.
I really worked with her mostly on that last job, and she was ever so nice person. Lived at Harpington.
Yes,
She
it
did.
is.
Well, I think both of them did. The other one as well, but she. We just drifted and told where to go, and that was it, weren't we?
Mm.
Would you like to have worked on the land?
Oh. I'm not bothered what I did, really.
I wouldn't have liked to have picked up potatoes.
Well, that's exactly the sort of thing you probably would have been
Yeah,
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bit of a back-aching job,
Yeah.
actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, we all did our bit, didn't we? All put to it, whether we did
Yeah.
or made the most of it.
We did. Certainly did.
Some were good to work with, and others were a bit on the flory route. And
Do you remember that day we went up London to get my material for my wedding frock?
no, tell me.
Oh, don't you remember getting on the tube and got crushed like sardines?
Oh yeah, that's yes, I can remember that bit. Did we
Yes,
get your material?
yes, I got my material up there.
You've got better memory
Because
than
there
I
was-
have.
There was hardly any about round
No.
this bridal.
Well, you look very nice. You look beautiful anyway.
Well,
Have you got? You've
that's
got
a-
wedding photos.
Oh yes.
Got an album.
And I had it made.
Let's see if we can
I've
find
got-
Grandma in her wedding regalia.
Do what?
See if we can find Grandma in her regalia, wedding regalia. I'll give you something to look at. One for you. And one for you.
Thank you.
See if you can find Grandma.
Cheers.
Which grandma are you meaning?
This one.
You?
Me?
Your Grandma?
I'm a great grandma.
All more recent ones.
So you're a great grandma.
All more recent ones.
Yes. Yes, they got very short of material in those days during the war. And I always remember Dawn Hobbs, her name was. She worked for the inhabitants on a bench.
Yeah.
And her mother, she lived in Campfield Road, her mother.
Did she?
Yes, and she used to get hold of bits of material,
Yes,
didn't
I can remember that.
do you?
Yeah,
And she
yeah.
used to make skirts for people
Yeah.
and that, didn't she?
That's right.
And a lot of us girls and people used to go to her to
Yeah.
see if they could
Yeah.
get a skirt
Yeah.
out of the materials.
Yeah.
They used to make them out of their parachute silk. Is that right?
Yes, yes, we used to.
You didn't
they
do
used
that
to
at
use
Peaks,
that.
though, did they?
Pardon?
They didn't make those at Peaks. Parachutes.
No,
No.
oh no. But they used to use the silk, parachute
Thank you.
silk, for different.
These have got some older pictures in, but I don't know whether they've got any wedding ones.
They're all modern ones, really.
Oh yeah, there's one.
That's like the one we've got hanging on the wall. In the
Yeah,
barn.
yeah. There's a
That's a nicer photo
There's-
than mine. It's kept
there's
it.
a nice one of you and Dad. I assume before you got married, but certainly around that time.
Oh,
Not in my.
Well, yeah, several there.
Thank you.
On the next page. And if you go, I think if you go back a page, there's one of, that's Les,
Yeah.
and back again. And again. Is that the three of them or the two?
That's two.
That's these two. No, I think it must be a page before this. Oh. Yeah, there's three of them.
So where was that taken? Do you remember?
in my
Camp-
mum's
Camp
garden.
Road, I
that's
suppose,
where-
isn't
yeah,
it?
in our mum and dad's garden, Camp Road. Yeah. Oh, oh dear, oh dear me. Oh, nice in the middle there.
Did my mother, oh, she had leg irons, didn't she? She had osteomyelitis.
She walked with a stick, didn't she?
She had a
walk with
stiff leg.
Yeah, yeah.
She
I
had a
remember her walking with a stick.
She had a
no,
stiff
she had
leg.
irons to start with, and then she.
She might have had
got on
iron
a
at
stick.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that photo and that. It's nice.
Is that one? Do you think that was before you were married or after?
What, this one?
Yeah, or just after?
I should think it might be just before. It could have been just before, probably. Yeah.
Certainly that period, isn't it?
Long and short of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Nanny Norman and
Yeah.
Carl Norman.
Yeah,
were
they were
short of
long
it,
and
weren't
short,
they?
yeah.
Drop one out.
What's that one? then?
Mum and Les.
I think it
Yeah.
came out the back, aren't I think
Did
it
it?
was just in the back, yeah.
And
Oh, there's
Hey,
hair in
Nanny's dog.
between us.
Oh, with the dog, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's Mum with that higher side of us there. Oh, that's lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, yes, that's a nice one, Ray.
Me and my sister.
That's not a Juliet Haddon one, though. Somebody took that of us, didn't they? That's not a Juliet Haddon one.
No, it's just the close-up ones, wasn't it? That
Yes.
were the
Yeah.
Does it make you feel old? Or when you look at it? Yeah, it makes me feel old looking at
I
it.
feel old in the mornings, I don't know about now.
Well,
Who's that there? Those two.
you and me, that's you and that's me. That's me and that's you.
Is it really?
I know we've
Because
all
I've got my glasses on as well.
Put your glasses on.
Oh,
We've got
well.
better looking. Better looking.
Yeah.
Oh yes. And you and
Well, do you know who I thought it was? Joan Bradshaw.
yeah, well she is something like our family, isn't she?
well, she ought to be a Bradshaw.
But
She ought to be a Bradshaw,
yes, yeah.
I don't
My
think.
dad and Uncle Walt
yeah.
Jones were I think they were very much alike.
They were,
Aren't
yeah, yeah.
I don't
yeah.
think that looks like you, Jolene. That don't look like you.
Which one's that
But
then?
it is you, I expect.
Oh, it was.
That one.
No, that is me.
Does that look
Terrible,
like-
isn't it?
Well, it don't look like you, does it,
No.
really?
Oh, I've altered since then. I've got more.
And I don't think it's.
I've changed.
It don't look like me.
That's a nice one of you and me.
Yes,
Isn't it? I like that one.
Yes, that is a nice one, that one.
Mm.
Yeah. Old-fashioned frock. Yes, very nice.
Oh, Les in that one.
What, this one?
Happy soul, isn't
Oh, he's always serious. Look at him in that one, so
he?
serious.
Yeah, always so serious.
Yeah.
Well, I can always remember him. Mum used to saying when he was a little boy, what did you smile? He said, "Smile, Les," and he said, "I can't. I've got no breath."
That's good, I like that one. That's a nice one as well.
Yeah.
Were they all done at the same time? The one of you, Aunt, and
My mum,
yeah, and then the one of
Les.
Les and the one of Uncle Ron. Were they all done at the same time? Because they look very similar, don't they?
They could have been,
Yeah,
yeah.
could have been.
Yeah. Mm. That's a nice one.
Mm.
There, you look just like Joan Bradshaw in that one.
Do
Absolutely like Joan Bradshaw. So you must be,
Well,
you
it's-
must have, a bit of a likeness in you, really, because that really
Well,
does look like Joan Bradshaw.
Uncle Walt, Joan's dad, and our dad were very, very much alike, I think.
Yeah.
Weren't they?
Mm.
Definitely brothers.
Yeah.
That's a lovely picture. The children. Mm. I expect
Yeah, oh yes. Well, it had to be really out in the country and.
Well, his front garden looks lovely.
Mm,
Very pretty.
yeah, it always got vegetables, And for the family.
Very nice. Yeah, lovely room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure I met him once.
You probably did,
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah. When you were at in Valley Road,
Yeah.
and I remember, for whatever reason, turning up there, and there was Ron and his dad in the front garden,
Well, I never.
fiddling around, digging or
Yeah.
something. But I remember it was in the front garden.
How
So,
did you get down there then?
Well, I assume I was with Mum and Dad, maybe. I don't know.
Motorbike, sidecar.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I was
No.
obviously I must have been quite young,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
I
I
don't
do.
remember
I do
that.
remember him being there.
Oh, well, I never.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Hmm.
I've only got one of these, and I had two.
What's that?
My
Glass case?
My glass case.
It's there. Yeah.
No, that's
It's just
not
behind you.
one.
There, Grandma.
There, you got it. Oh, thanks, James. Sitting on it, I expect.
Yeah.
Do you know, I can't remember meeting Mr. Dare, ever. I
No.
think I met Mrs. Dare. So I
Did you?
remember she had terrible hands, didn't she?
Yeah. Arthritic hands, yeah.
I remember Mrs. Dare, but I can't
I remember. I
remember
wonder where
Me-
father was.
not meeting Mr.
It's
Dare.
funny.
Funny.
I can't remember her at all,
No.
but him, I can. Yeah.
Oh, I suppose they were staying with me then, I don't know.
Must have been.
mustn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Can't remember. The memory's gone.
I know I stayed.
Huh?
I say I know I stayed with you.
You
Yes.
did, yeah. You did, didn't
You can't remember, can you?
No.
But I do.
You do, don't you? Yeah.
I can remember being tucked up in bed there
Kindly
next
look
to
at
Ian. I don't know whether we slept in the same bed or not, but
Well, I don't know, how many, did I have 3 bedrooms there?
two.
I don't know.
didn't it? Those little prefabs had two, didn't they?
Was that in the prefabs?
yeah.
Oh no, you
Two.
must have slept with Ian.
With Ian, yeah.
I hope he
yeah.
behaved himself. He wet the bed or something, didn't he?
So,
Find it on you.
That's one slept at the top and one at the bottom.
No. Oh, we
well, that was at the same time you took us on the bus over to Harpenden, right, for the afternoon,
Yeah.
and I fell in the pond. Do you remember me doing that?
Oh,
And
vaguely.
I had to come back on the bus with wet pants, didn't I?
Oh, in
I fe-
Harpington Common.
Yeah, I fell in the pond on the common, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I did.
No, I can't.
And that was when Mum was in hospital, you know,
Oh,
having Mike, yeah.
well,
I haven't heard that one before.
No,
no, I can't
really.
remember. No, I
Well,
can't.
trust me, it's true, because
Oh,
I'm hardly likely to forget.
had to grab a wet pants.
Yes.
Oh, more than that. I suppose.
Well, because couldn't do anything about it, because they were, you know, I was soaking wet, and we had to get on the bus to come home. So
Good job you didn't know any about it. Oh. Wasn't looking after you, was I?
I don't know what I was up to. I think I just slipped on the side or something.
Oh, Ian didn't push you, did he?
No, definitely didn't push me. No.
Well, it wouldn't have been very deep because it was sort of a paddling pool, really. Wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh,
Enough to wet
yeah.
you, though, wasn't it? Enough to
Yeah,
make you
yeah, oh yeah.
need to come home
Yeah, yes,
on the bus.
on the bus. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. I think some of these memories are best forgotten, otherwise they'd play on me. I'd have nightmares of them. I'm going to put the light on, can't see your lovely face.
Right,
That
which
one,
one?
up, please.
Yeah.
Steve, yeah. Tag it up. That's better. I see you now. Thank you. Can I make you a drink, Arthur?
Not for me personally.
I'm fine, thank you.
No, me too. No, thank you.
You're all satisfied.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Your hair looks nice today, Al. You've got a
Pardon?
fringe. Yeah, it looks nice today. You've got a fringe.
Yes, I've got a fringe for a little while.
Yeah, looks nice. You had it perm lately?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. I had to do something with it because it was as straight and I couldn't do a thing with it.
No,
It
it looks
was-
nice.
Flying all over the place, straight as a dart, and I just couldn't control it, so
She trimmed
to-
it and
I had to have something. Very nice young doctor the other day,
where?
very young doctor, and
Where were you?
I was at home,
Oh.
and my next door neighbour, Marnie, she said to me, she told me a week or so ago, she said her nephew was studying, well, I knew he was studying to be a doctor in London. For a long while he's been studying there, and she invited him to stay just for a couple of days with her if he wished to do so before he'd got to go to
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Boston, Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
He'd got to go to a hospital in Boston, in Lincolnshire,
Oh, yeah.
for his final year, and he'll be a full trained doctor, full.
Yeah.
And she said to me the other day, she said, I'd like you to meet him, Alice, she said. And and then she suggested a time and day. She said, I'll come in. She said, I'll bring him in. She said, and you can meet him. So she brought him in to me to meet him. Well, he was ever so tall, and I felt lovely beside him. He was ever so tall. But such a nice fellow he was.
Okay, good.
Very polite. He really was a very, very nice chap. And I thought, well, you'll make a very
Good
nice
doctor.
doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, you will. And he got a little box with him, and when he came in, he gave me this box, and he said, I'll give you this, he said, because he said, it's my birthday today.
Ah.
And I said, well, thank you very much. And I opened it, and it was 4 little chocolate cakes.
Oh.
And he
nice.
said, I'm 36, he said, today. And I thought, well, how nice of him.
Very nice.
Yes, and it was nice of Marnie too.
Mm.
But they couldn't stop long because he was about to, go off really. And said he got a lot to do in packing and all sorts. And when she came in, she said, you can't stop only a couple of minutes, Alice. So, of course, they didn't have a cup of tea or anything to drink. But I thought, well, how lovely. Nice,
Yeah.
yes, it was nice. of
Very
him.
nice.
And it was nice to meet him. And he was what I call a very, very nice chap. And he'll make a lovely doctor, I would think. Yes, lovely doctor.
A good bedside manner.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so. So he's up in Boston training at a hospital.
Oh, yeah.
He's got 1 year, that's all to do, and
You'll be
he'll have a
fully qualified.
practice somewhere. Yeah.
Mm.
So, and all her side of the family followed in that line. In the,
Yeah.
Dad did do one.
Yeah, but
I
that's-
think it was probably that one.
No, it's not.
I don't.
We've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're initials, and I know
Yeah.
but which is which and who did, I don't know. But I love them.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're all much about the same, except that one.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
what-
perspective's
that's London,
good.
that one.
Yeah. Perspective's good on it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it must be a gift. Gifted.
yeah,
That's
so
it.
it is a gift.
Well, I don't think Les didn't start painting until quite late,
No,
did he?
no,
As a hobby,
that's right. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he wanted to do it when he
When he
left
was-
school.
did he?
But he didn't. I somehow don't think he had the opportunity
No.
to do it. Not then.
He
So he
got
had to go to Pete's
Pete's.
and be a tailor. sit on a table with his legs crossed.
Yeah.
You can understand him getting a bit fed up with it year after year.
Oh,
He was there for years, you know.
I
At
can't
Peaks.
imagine how.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I know we're all the same, aren't we? We've all been out to work
Fed
and
up, yes.
done
Stuck
things,
at it.
and it's all boring day in, day
Yeah.
out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I suppose he was no different, but to sit cross-legged on a bench doing that all day long, every day, must have been very tedious.
Didn't he make one of your a coat, didn't he?
Yes, he made Stephen.
Oh, yeah, Stephen.
He tailored you a little coat when
Did
you was
he?
little,
Yeah,
and he did it so beautiful,
yeah, yeah.
and it lasted and lasted.
I expect there's a photo somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah, there is.
and we made a little hood thing to go with it for cold weather.
Yeah,
But it lasted so long that it was still lovely, and Michael used it as well
Yeah,
when he
yes.
was. He made such a good job of it.
yeah.
You know, you could tell that it was tailor-made, really, which it was. He took time in doing it, wasted. And
Was
it
it
was a
good
nice
trade to do?
material, wasn't it? A very nice material. Did they call it?
Herringbone, wasn't it?
No.
Camel.
It was like camel, but did they call it Sebel? No, not Sebelda, some other name. But it was a smooth, a beige coloured, middle, not too dark beige, but something coloured top of your table, little table over there.
I thought it was a camel. It wasn't camel.
Well, we perhaps could call it a camel material, but it wasn't.
No.
Camel. I forget now what they did call it, but it was lovely material.
What material did they make the coats, the ladies' coats of? What was that at
Oh,
Peaks?
Whatever it was lovely material, wasn't
Was
it?
that camel?
Oh,
Oh, there's all sorts.
Oh, was there was all sorts of...
Camel or tweed.
yes.
Oh,
Or,
I can just imagine him, you know, it was a bit of spare,
yeah.
Ladies'
bit of
jacket.
spare material from a lady's coat.
I think they used to.
Just tucked away.
I think they did used to sell remnants, Steve.
Oh, did
at
they? Oh, I'm
times.
being very unkind.
Yeah,
And
they
unjust.
they used to sell remnants, and
Yeah.
I bet some used to be all right for girls' skirts and that, don't you?
Oh, I expect they were not.
I never had
they
any.
knocked
but-
off.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Next bit.
Was a cousin that one.
Oh, yeah, can't
one.
use that one.
Yes.
Did you, when you were there, before the war, but you know, before you left Peaks, was you on basting out? Was that your last job?
Yeah.
Was Hetty Stokes there then?
Yeah.
Was you?
Yeah.
Was she?
Oh, yeah. I could see her and her sister. She used to Ramsbury Road, and you know, no, Brampton Road. didn't she?
Brampton Road.
Brampton Road, yeah. Yeah. Oh, she was a taskmaster, wasn't she? Hetty Stokes.
Hetty Stokes.
And Miss Washington, we were scared stiff of her. That was the manageress. Oh. Lizzie's coming round.
They
Eyes down, eyes right.
we used to have a dance every so often at Peaks, didn't we? Ian? And one year, I wasn't all that old. I was only about. I hadn't been to Peaks that long. I might have been about 15, perhaps, or 14, 15. Anyway, the lady who used to get these sort of dances out, Miss Wilson, lived in Clarence Road. This particular dance, Miss Washington was going to be there. Do you
That was the
remember?
manageress.
Oh, she was going to be there, and so Miss Wilson said to, this is Alice, is it? Miss Wilson said to me, she said, will you give Miss Washington a bouquet at the dance? Well, you know what I am. I hate this sort of thing. Can't bear it. As in my younger days, I was terrible. So I said, oh dear, I don't know. So she said, you just give her the bouquet, and she told me what to say. Well, I can't tell you now what it was. So anyway, the time came. Mum bought me a very nice dress from Betty's, and it was a flame colour taffeta.
Oh,
you remember
yeah,
it?
Yeah, just about.
It was a lovely colour,
Yeah.
plain colour taffeta, and it was down to my ankles like a, you know,
look very-
dance frock.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
you're very sweet.
Very nice it was. She bought this for the special occasion. So anyway, oh dear, when the time comes, they give me this bouquet, and I think Miss Washington was up just a little bit up on the stage. She was just a bit higher, you know, and I went up to give her this bouquet, and I gave it to her, and I never said a word. I just gave it to her, you know, smiled like, you know, and she said, thank you very much. And I thought, oh, that's it. And that's enough for me. And Miss Wilson afterwards, she I don't know whether she knew that I never said anything, but she didn't say anything. She just gave me a box of chocolates for doing it. But
You were shy, weren't you?
Yes, I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. That was me. I wasn't born that
We're
way.
all different, aren't we? We're all
I
different.
was not born that way. And do you know, James, they asked me once to read a passage at church, and it was a lady who used to take meetings of us ladies, because I used to collect for what they call Women's Own Abroad, you know, the people who were hard up. Missionaries, you know. And I used to collect for them, and this lady, particular lady, actually she was the headmistress at Berners Heath School, and
Miss Bromley.
Miss Bromley, and she used to take this meeting at her house, and several ladies from all the different Methodist churches were there at this meeting, and I used to have to go because I used to collect, you see, for this certain thing. So of course, one day she said to me, they'd got a service for these ladies all around the church, different churches, and it was going to be, fun enough, at Shenley Church where I go now. So she said she you know, would like me to read a lesson, and I said, oh, I don't think so, you know. No. She said, oh, I'm sure you can, she said, and she gave me this to show me what I got to read, and I thought, oh my goodness me, I should never do that. So anyway, I took it, and I thought, well, I suppose I'd have to try, but and for a whole week, and Dad would have told you, I suffered a whole week from diarrhoea and sickness. I felt dreadful for a whole week, worrying about standing up,
weight that week.
reading this lesson. But the time came, the day came, and in those days at our church, there used to be, up near the organ, up the end of the church, they used to have a stage, because they used to have 1 or 2 concerts years and years ago, and up on the stage there was about 4 or 5 chairs up there for the people to sit who were going to read, you see, as well. Well, I was in the middle of these ladies sitting on a big chair. They were big chairs in those days. And it came to be my turn. But do you know what? I did read all right. And I thought afterwards, well, how stupid. What did I worry about, really? I did read it all right. I got through it all right. But I felt I'll never be able to do it again. I made myself feel so bad. I said to John, I said, no, I said, I won't be able to do that anymore. It made me feel really sick and ill. I hate to say it, but I haven't done it. I haven't done it anymore. To stand out and read to a lot of people. I haven't done it. It's not me. And I couldn't do it at school much either, because I went into the headmistress and I couldn't couldn't do it once. And she told me to go back again to learn it, and I had to go in again and do it again.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
it
you
wasn't
did
me.
it. But you did it, didn't you?
It was just nerves.
Yeah.
Just nerves.
Yeah.
That's all. But I did it the second time with the headmistress, yes. But I'll tell you what, I was frightened to death of her, weren't you, Miss Ewer? Oh dear, she was. You see, I was frightened of her. She was very, very strict.
Got
And,
big boobs, hasn't she? And
yeah,
used to
short
stand
she
over
was.
you. Ooh.
And she used to wear little glasses at the end
On
of
the
her
end of her-
nose. And,
Ooh,
and she
frightened
was,
to death of us.
yeah, she was very strict. And I had to. I had an accident when I was at the school one day, and I think I hadn't been at the school that long really, Priory Park School, and
So how old were you? Sort of between 5
11.
and 7? Oh,
we
11.
went there
11.
at 11,
Yeah,
Priory
yeah.
Park School, and we were doing a stupid game, us girls, stupid game, and I had to run to this wall to touch it, and I went too fast, and I went right against the wall and knocked myself and took my breath away. I was taking my breath away, fighting for my breath. And of course they called the teacher out and everybody, and the headmistress, she had me in her private room all the afternoon, and I laid at she got a bed at the side of it in her little private room, and I laid on there all the time till it was time to go home. She was watching me to see if I was all right, but fortunately I was. But oh dear, that took my breath away how I did that. Yeah. So that I landed up in her room again, but laying on her bed for half
well,
the
it
day.
saved you
Yeah.
doing mathematics or something, didn't it?
Oh dear, oh dear.
Skip the lesson.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I like to, even if I just get a paper, I like
Yeah,
It's good, isn't it? You
yeah.
can-
To get out.
Have the
And,
exercise.
yeah.